lot of players think they should put their opponents on a single hand. On this edition of Strategy, we talked to Vanessa Selps about putting your opponent on a range of hands.
Well, as players get better, it's going to be tougher and tougher to put them on a specific hand because people play hands differently sometimes, and sometimes they get tricky. And sometimes you just don't have enough information in the hand if they haven't really made a bet. So the easiest thing is to start with a range because you know what kinds of hands they typically play in a certain way, in a certain street. Like maybe pre-flop when they call, you might say, well, they probably have like a pocket pair or like a king-queen suited, something like that. And then as they play the hand more and more throughout the hand, as the hand progresses, you can then work to narrow that range. And it's just a really easy way by removing hands that you don't think that they would play in a certain way. And by the end of that sort of exercise, like going through the logic like that, starting with the range and then narrowing it when you can exclude hands based on how they're playing, that's the easiest way. If you start with one hand and then they don't play the way you'd expect, you're sort of blindsided. But if you start with a wide range and you narrow it whenever you have more information, that's going to be your best way to really figure out what your opponent is holding. I think the best way to learn about ranges is honestly experience. Starting from pre-flop, everybody's going to have different ranges depending on how loose they are, how tight they are, what types of hands they tend to like. So when you raise and someone calls you, let's say, or someone re-raises you, just being in that situation many, many times is going to teach you what kinds of hands people tend to have. And at that point, that's the best way to start with ranges, and then just getting really good at figuring out why they're making certain bets. I think experience is honestly going to be the best way to really learn how to work with ranges and narrow that down.